I think I'm frozen, but hit that like, hit that subscribe. Come talk some 4-0 Eagles with us. Let's go.
Let's go. This ain't the box fight. Oh, this game he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, who'll be with us in a little bit. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You know where to find them. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. He's the best in the business. Tell the doc we sent you. He'll be on to talk a little bit about concussions later on in the NFL, and we haven't had him on in a while, so it'll be good to talk to the doc. Hopefully, we have a few Eagles injuries to talk to him about, but not too many. Darius Slay left after the first play today, which is concerning because he's sort of been hobbled. But we got a lot to talk about. We'll get into all of that. As always, Nick Delgazzo, Brian Wilson, Greg Mlakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, it's good to be an Eagles fan, isn't it? On the negative sides, we'll do Crumb of the Week at the end of the show. We'll circle around the NFL. We'll give our players of the game from the Eagles Jaguars, and this is the Eagles Jaguars post-game show, and that's going to tie into our poll question brought to you by Manscaped, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Our poll question for tonight. Okay, make sure I got the right one here. There's a few poll questions back here. There's a couple back here. Today's win over the Jaguars is the most impressive win of the season so far for the Eagles. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow. Join the conversation tonight. 4-0, baby. 4-0. And today, the answer to the poll question was the most impressive win for me. I agree. We've won all 4 football games in sort of different ways, right? But this is the most impressive because you were down. Now, listen, did Trevor cough the ball up a lot? Yeah, sure. That's also pressure. That's also bad conditions, right? And you still got to make plays. And this defense, for another week, made plays today and made a lot of them. Haason Reddick was all over the football field. You know, the Bradbury pick down in the red zone, that's gigantic, right? You're bringing pressure. You dial up pressure at the right time. And next thing you know, guess what? You make him make a back foot throw. He doesn't see Bradbury there, okay, and you get an interception. So to be down 14-0, to look uninspired through the first quarter of this football game. Didn't look like a team wanted to be there. You know, people were talking about letdown. Yeah, people were talking about letdown games and all the rest, right? And to be able to come out of this football game with a win and do it a different way. Today we went back to sort of what our bread and butter is, bad conditions. Early on, we didn't run the football well, but Miles settled down, and Miles Sanders had his best game as an Eagle today. And after he was bouncing, he started putting his foot in the ground, right? Looking for contact, looking to get north-south. And I thought he did a tremendous job of that today. I thought our offensive line was tremendous, right? And here we are. Here we are as 4-0. So I absolutely agree to the poll. Today's win over the Jaguars is the most impressive win of the season so far because we sat here on numerous shows, after we were 3-0, et cetera, 2-0, and we said, okay, the next step is, can this football team come back? You know, can they be down either early, late, et cetera, and show the resiliency to be able to fight back and not quit? And you saw it again today. Again, I said the Jaguars coughed this game up today too, offensively. But you got to give credit to the other side of the football too, all right? Because they have been a good offense, okay? And you're able to get pressure, create turnovers from Trevor Lawrence, and your ability to run the football. And Jalen made his worst throw of the season early on in the football game, right? The Zach Pascal that was picked off. But then again, in terrible conditions, right? He played better than Trevor Lawrence. He settled down. Is there throws you're going to want to have back in 20-mile wind? Sure. And soaky conditions? Of course you're going to want to have throws back, right, guys? But at the end of the day, he made enough big plays, and his offense made enough big plays to win another football game, right? And now you're 4-0. You're the only undefeated team in the NFL. I'm not going to sit here and start running down Broad Street, but I'm going to tell you this, man, top to bottom, we talked about it before the season started. This is arguably the best roster in the National Football League. It's right up there. It's top 5, right? It's top 5. There's a lot of other damn good ones, so I don't want to say the best. So I said arguably the best. Okay, because they're right up in that top 5 conversation, and the roster on paper is playing on the field, and not a lot of times do you see that either, right? We've had the dream teams, we've had other things here in Philadelphia that we thought were going to be really good, and it didn't come to fruition. So it's nice when something on paper, and all us sat here and said, hey, 11 wins, 12 wins, wherever we had us, right? And that's showing itself. Again, a lot of football left to be played. I ain't here to crown nobody. I'm going to tell you, this is a damn good football team that's found ways to win 4 games in different ways. And that, to me, is a sign of a team that's going to be one of the ones that are left standing at the end of the day if they're healthy. Now, I'm not telling you left standing in the Super Bowl. I'm just telling you deep into the playoffs. This is the type of team that can go to an NFC title game if they continue to play good football. Are they going to lose games? Yes. But you got to lose a couple in a row for us to really change how we feel about you right now, right? But again, you're almost on the next week, but we got to talk about this week, okay? And I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Nick Sirianni. I'm impressed with this quarterback. I'm extremely impressed with the adjustment Jonathan Gannon's made when I crucified him here. I'm impressed with Miles Sanders showing me he can be a number 1 running back today. And the most impressive thing is, through these conditions, Miles Sanders held on to the football today. So through it all, that's the most impressive thing, right? And this win's impressive. So let's fucking go 4-0. Who wants to come see us? That's my rant, boys. It felt good. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'll also agree as well. I look back at this game and I think back to 2017 against the Bills, when we played them on the road, similar conditions, and at least to me in that season, we were too pass heavy early on. And then these conditions kind of forced you to run the football. And I'm not saying we didn't pass today, but I like that this type of game kind of settled you down and allowed you to beat up what was a good rush defense, right? They were coming in. They were one of the top rush defenses in the NFL. And after those first 2 drives, which, as you mentioned, were really bad and stagnant, we absolutely dominated both sides of the football on the line side. And that's where I think is the most impressive part is they knew we were going to run the football. We knew we were going to run the football, and they still couldn't stop us. You know what I mean? And again, Tommy, you said it. We won it in a couple different ways, and this is the way we won it today, was running the football down their throats when we needed to, when we had to, and they couldn't stop us. And that was the encouraging part from today, especially after that lackluster start. And then the other side of that real quick is the second half. Although we didn't put up a lot of points in the second half, there was drives that sustained time in the second half that condensed the ability for the Jaguars to gain any type of momentum, right? We were worried about the second half through the first couple games. And, I think we only ended up getting that field goal, but it was the sustained drives that led to the change of possessions, that led to, time of possession and, not allowing the Jaguars to get anything going in that second half when they needed to. So I'll agree to the poll. This was a really impressive game.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, I mean, I'll disagree. I think the Vikings won for me. I mean, that was just everybody thought they were going to win. Everybody, they came in. It was only week 2, but everybody was, hooting and hollering about the Vikings for whatever reason. And Monday night primetime game, and it was stole their lunch stole their lunch as soon as they got off the bus. 3 turnovers. What Jalen did that game. I don't have to tell you that. Obviously, no scoring in the second half, but just a tremendous performance. They created 3 turnovers. It was just, it was real. I was more impressed with the Vikings win. Not to take anything away. I mean, to your points, 14-0 in the conditions. It's all fine and dandy. And I don't take anything away from when guys make plays. You know what I mean? This Eagles defense is fantastic, right? But you have to crucify Sunshine, right? That's on him. In an 8-point game, that's at his feet. All right, and you can say to me, "Oh, well, Sweeps, we're putting pressure on." I get that. You can't have four fumbles, all right, in your own zone in an NFL football game, all right, and you can't throw a terrible pick, all right, and that's not a slight on the Eagles or anybody else that does that on defense, all right. This game is at his feet, all right, and the Eagles did what they did at home. They ran the football fantastic, right? But and played good day and made plays when they had to do. So I tip my cap to them. They're the only undefeated team left in the league, and they look fantastic, and they're rolling, right? But this one's on Sunshine. This one's on Sunshine today, all right? And that's it is what it is.
Yeah, real quick, Wills, before you go, the reason I think it's like there's like impressive things that happened today. That when your back's against the wall, right? And that's how sort of like where I feel about it. Like I agree with you that Sweeps about the Minnesota game. They got off the bus and it was over, like you said, right? I mean, that's a game you flat out dominated from start to finish. Today, obviously, is a different one, right? And that's what we're talking about, like winning them in different ways. Anybody can pick any of the 4 wins in reality because they're all damn good wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick.
They're all impressive in their own. They're all impressive in their own way, right? This one's the one we were looking for. Not that we want to be down early, not that we want to have a bunch of injuries, but today was like a resiliency game. Like how tough are you as a 53-man roster? You're down Slay, you're down Maddox, right? And you go down with your left tackles out right from Jump Street. Your guard goes out, and you're able to keep chugging along, chug along, and find a way to win a football game. And you're right. I mean, if you point a finger on the biggest loser today, right, it's Trevor Lawrence. It's not even close. I mean, he came out, played really well in the conditions, and then I thought they did themselves a disservice where they went away from the run game. I mean, we know Doug, and I love Doug, but I think they went away from something I think that if they would have stayed with in the rain, they did have some success with the run game. But they wanted, they were trying to throw the football today, and today's not the day you want to be dropping back 30 times.
Yeah,
it's just not.
14. Yeah, sorry, but in a 14-0 game, if he hangs on to the football, I understand it's wet, and you're going to say, "Sweet, it's conditions." I get it. But if he hangs on to the football, he picks up that first down, that drive continues, and it's already 14-0. You know what I mean? So, credit the Eagles for being around there, but he just flat out dropped it. You know what I mean? When he had the edge. So that's on him. That's nobody, creating any pressure. Like Haason Reddick and the other plays that the Eagles made. That's self-inflicted. I mean, he's on the edge on a 4th down, and I understand Doug not kicking it. It's a 51-yarder. I'm not gonna say that's typical Doug. You know what I mean? You're not gonna kick it. You're not gonna try a 51-yarder in a 14-0 game when you feel like you have a little bit of control. I'm not gonna crucify him for that. You know what I mean? But he's on the edge right there, and he just flat out drops it.
Hey, Dad, Wells, what do you think to the poll?
You guys all make good points. I'll just disagree.
That's what we do.
I disagree because it's an out of conference game. I'll say the Washington. I was going to say the Vikings game, but Sweep said it before me. So I'll say the Washington game just because it's on short rest and it's a division opponent, and it's a game where we typically struggle in, and we didn't, and we dominated the game defensively last week. I mean, obviously we scored a bunch early, but dominated the game defensively, which was great to see. And today is what we said we were waiting to see before we could say we were a complete team is coming back, having to come back. Now, granted, we came back pretty quickly. 21 unanswered in the second, but still great to see when you're down early, coming back, not blinking, not getting worried, sticking with your game plan, running the football. They obviously went away from their game plan because, like Tom said, they started throwing the ball over the place, and Trevor started dropping the ball over the place. So, I mean, with the conditions, that was dumb of Doug. I still have some issues with some things that we did today, but it's a big win. It's a huge win today. I'll disagree with the poll, but it's a great win. And I mainly have issues with Sirianni. I have issues early with us running not north and south, which we do constantly. I don't know why, but then we kind of got away from that at the end of the game and started running north and south, which was great to see. But like Sirianni, like the 4th and 3, we're not kicking a field goal there. The game's still in the balance. I don't know what that was. That was terrible. Thank God it didn't bite us with Trevor fumbling the ball the next play, basically. But I don't know. Some weird shit going on today. Very weird shit.
Yeah, 2 out Marlins hit. Sorry.
Marlins take the lead?
Yeah, yes. 2 out Marlins hit. Yep.
Marlins take the lead.
Guy who wears us out, Miggy Rojas.
2 out, huge 2 out hit.
Let's go.
Yeah, Michael Caine says Reddick and Bradbury showing just how big of the pickups they were this offseason. Yeah, Mike. I mean, they were. You know, Howie did a tremendous job. We talked about it. It looked great on paper, the things he went out and did this offseason. And those pieces are playing. You know, they're playing extremely well. And this whole football team is playing at a high level. And we talked about it. When you're just finding different ways. All 4 games have a little bit different feel to them, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't care when you score your points. But to me, another big impressive thing about today was the ability to go on a drive late, right? You put together a drive late. That's what good football teams do, all right? They don't go call from the football off back to you, right? They don't go 3 and out, right? They sustain a drive. And you sort of take it for granted, right? And I don't care who you play anymore. Like we watch a lot of NFL games, right? I don't give a shit who's on your docket that week, right? It's hard to win in this league. Yeah. and teams show you that every week. Teams play down the competition. I thought we came out and we thought early on that it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, early on they weren't, right? Earlier on they were a team that was 2-1, right? And then they showed why they're the Jaguars throughout that football game. But early on, you said, uh-oh, and they had a chance to go up 21-0. Remember that. And he missed them, right? And it's this game of inches, baby. And the whole momentum shifted after that. When he missed that ability to go up 21-0, had him wide open on a double move. I think it was Agnew.
Yep, Agnew. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Didn't put enough air under it, right? Tried to zip it in instead of airing it a little bit. And right there, I said to myself, uh-oh.
That's the play, yeah.
This is we're coming back in this football game. If we're a good football team, and guess what we did?
And to your
when they meat on the bone against a good football team, you're done. You're done. You cannot if you got a kill shot against an elite football team, you got to take it, and
especially on the road,
and you can't miss. Yeah, you can't miss.
Yeah, and that was McPherson, right, Tommy? So to your point, that was Slay. That was supposed to be Slay. All right, so McPherson's in for Slay, bites on that double move, and is just completely out of position. And thankfully, he sailed it because that should have been Slay or it could have been Bradbury, but it wasn't just because of the injury, right? You know what I mean? So that was definitely a huge miss.
I thought it was the double name guy, but you could be right. Who's
Gardner
that?
Johnson was the safety.
That's what I thought it was.
He was the safety over the top.
Yeah, no, he won over
well.
He won over the top.
Well.
I was gonna say he won over the top. Look at a fake punt right there for Carolina. I don't know if that ball was caught. I think they ruled it a catch, but I don't know.
Yeah, nerdy sports guy. I agree with you. He said a dub through adversity means as much as a blowout. Great win today. Yeah.
It's something we wanted to see.
2017, they were finding different ways to win games and people complained, right? As we're just beating teams. And every week we go in the locker rooms with wins. Like, I complain after losses, right? You start losing football games, then I get the binoculars out and we're going to start dissecting who stinks. But when you're winning, you're winning.
Listen, there's no, I'm not taking anything away from anybody. I just don't
win today and you're 2-2.
But I just don't know how much adversity it really was. I mean, because it was early. You know what I mean? That would only be my counter to that. You know what I mean? And that's not a shot at nerdy guy or anybody else. I mean, it's early. I mean, it's a lot of game left. So it is adversity by definition. I get it. But you're down 14 in the fourth. Oh, wow. Then it greedy to
well,
we haven't had a chance
to quarter. So I hear you.
Yeah, we didn't have a chance to get it. We haven't had a chance this year to see that. Hopefully, we don't. But we haven't had that opportunity. This is the first opportunity in terms of semi-adversity that we've had this year because we haven't been down like that. Period. So that was like, hey, we're looking to get down and see how we respond to that. But yeah, I mean, it's the first quarter, right? A lot of football will have to be played. So, it's not the biggest adversity or man, this football team, they're finding every different way to win football games, right? Like, yeah, you're still looking for that. Hey, down 6 in the 4th, right? You got the football. Can you go on a drive, right? Yeah, we're still waiting to see that one. That's the big one, right? Or like you said, maybe down 14 in the 4th, and you rally and come back and win. That's just the ones we haven't got a chance to see. So in terms of like air quote adversity, this is the hardest one we've had this year in terms of just being down. But the other games had different types of adversity too, right? But we haven't had that full, like you even said, so like we haven't gone to the half, like, oh, we're down 10.5. How do you come out of the half? We haven't got that opportunity to see them ones yet. They would trump this one for sure. Absolutely. They definitely would. This was just a good one to see us be able to fight when down, even though it was early.
Another thing that we showed today, which was great, is we maintain our dominance of the second quarter, because we've been absolutely dominating the second quarter of football games. And again today, 21-0 in the second quarter. We've been dominating second quarter of football games. Dominating.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Something about, like, isn't that weird how that happened?
I don't know why that is, but it's not a bad thing to keep trending. Well, we can keep that trending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greg, can you pull the doc in? Because I can't pull them in.
Yeah.
I can't click on it.
4-3 bottom.
Tunyon TD for the Packers.
Let me fix this.
Hey, Doc. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Doc?
Whoa, what's up, guys?
Hey, Doc.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
How are you? Everybody that's joining us, that's the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them all on all your social media platforms, or right down there on the link, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We'll talk a little bit, obviously, some Eagles injuries today. Greg, I'm scared to make you Google this, but what was Mulata's injury and what was Slay's injury?
So Mulata, I actually was pulling it up as we were getting ready to make sure, and so Mulata was his shoulder. There's an MRI tomorrow. Jake Elliott is a lower body, so leg. It's part of why the Eagles passed up that late field goal, was because he wasn't as good as he might have, leaned into and tried to sell on the sideline. And then I'm trying to look up Slay.
Forearm, I think.
Slay, I heard early, was forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed Elliott popping some pills, so he
Elliott made a couple kicks after that too, and that was
it was only
like
one. It was one kick and one kickoff.
Okay, well that was like a really cheap shot, by the way.
Yeah,
on Jake Elliott, really late, very late.
So Mulata's the real concern, because it's the shoulder, and I mean that can be a couple different things. And Dillard's out. Dillard was out 4 to 6, right, to start the year. So I got to believe he's probably close to coming back. Driscoll went in for him. So, Doc, I guess we just got to wait on the MRI on his shoulder to really have a diagnosis on sort of these guys. Everybody else seems like, I know Salomalo was like an ankle, but he was questionable to come back. So when I see questionable, I sort of feel like, okay, he could probably play next week if you're already questionable to come back in a football game. But besides that, we don't have anything really, I guess, breaking Eagles-wise. Slay's forearm, I don't know. Do we know anything deeper on that, guys? Greg, do we know what's going on there?
I'm trying to grab more, but at this time, no.
Are they going to have X-rays or?
I don't know.
The forearm, from what I heard, was just from the broadcast. I didn't see it online yet.
Yeah, I don't think they made much more of it. I thought he honestly got banged up a little bit last week too, and
he has been hobbled with a back or a
yeah.
groin or something.
Yeah.
Combo platter.
Combo platter, yeah, for sure.
He never left, right?
Yeah.
For a little while. I saw him. He was on pug coverage one play. He never. Did he come back or did he leave?
Slay didn't come back.
Yeah, he never came back, I don't think.
Yeah.
Sweeps.
Yeah, that was sort of he let.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, and they showed a lot of trying to do some practice stuff on the sidelines, but I don't think he didn't return either though. but he was trying to do some blocking stuff, and I guess he was trying to figure it out. But
he definitely returned to the sideline, Doc. It looked like they were going to put him back in, but he never came back in.
Yeah, my sense was like if like the game was kind of moving along and they were doing all right, I guess it was like, you know what, why put him back in this, that type of thing. So
hopefully that's the case. Yeah.
The first couple of snaps for Driscoll were iffy, but then he settled down.
Yeah, it's always concerning about a lot of just because your shoulders key to moving these grown men.
Yeah,
he's going to need that. He's going to need that. You need your lower half to with the leg and all that stuff, but your shoulders, I would imagine, are the key to being a tremendous lineman. Get your hands on.
And, you
always laugh.
There you go, man.
From NBC Sports, Slay hurt his forearm and could be seen with a large black wrap cast on his arm on his way into the locker room after the win. So I don't know. Hopefully that's just more stabilizing than anything.
Between a wrap and a cast there.
Well, that's what NBC Sports has. And then Sayamala was with an ankle injury, as we already noted.
Yeah, I mean, cast, he's fractured. If he just has like some type of Velcro thing, they're just trying to protect it. But yeah, I can tell you, this type of game, man, like weather, man, it's always makes you nervous because slick surfaces, the conditions aren't great, man. Guys can, pull muscles, groins, hamstrings, whatever, a lot easier.
Yeah, it's weird like that, right? You get bad weather games. It's like I don't know why, but injuries definitely rev up.
Yeah.
In games like this. Yeah, the Moata's funny to me. Like, he's on the sideline. He looks good. He's a gigantic man. You know what I mean? Like, even if he did like have a tear in his rotator, God forbid, or some kind of tear in his shoulder, he's such a grown man that he would probably still be like, yeah, I feel all right. I could probably play. He's like a monster. All right, so we got to wait on those things.
Any updates going to come tomorrow for the big guys? Patrick Johnson left with a concussion. I didn't notice that one.
Yeah, well, you don't even know.
Ruled out at halftime, so maybe that's probably why.
Or the fact that you never even realize Patrick Johnson's playing. But yeah, either or. So, Doc, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about, what you saw from Tua, the two times he's didn't exit the football game the first time, but the second time. Just tell everybody your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt the second time. I think we all saw it, right? That's no doubt an outward sign that the nervous system has been acutely disrupted, even if it's temporary. But everyone saw his fingers or his arms, so they go into that posturing. That's what they call like a static tonic, like contraction. I mean, they call it like a fencing end guard posture, but that just means like, the nervous system is impaired right there. So that's an outward sign. So obviously they saw that and took care of him. But I'll tell you, I mean, I didn't see it Sunday. I saw the replay earlier this week, and concussions difficult at times because a lot of times it's based on symptoms and what the player or patient's reporting. But I got to tell you, looking at Sunday's game, he also had an outward sign as well that there was a concussion because he didn't have balance.
He fell down.
So
you could be the world's worst doctor. I didn't mean to cut you off, Doc, but like he fell down. Here's your sign. Jeez.
100%. Outward side, obviously loss of consciousness is one, but sometimes that's real quick, and by the time they get there, they've regained consciousness. But a loss of balance like that is just as obvious as that posturing with the fingers, and so the nervous system is disrupted. So I don't know how they missed that. And I got to tell you, they said it was his back, but if you hurt your back, who grabs their head? All right, if you watch what happened and he goes down on Sunday, he went to do this. If I hurt my back, I don't know about you guys, but I'm grabbing my back.
Yeah. I've hurt my back plenty of times.
Yeah, I'm right on the ground, grabbing for my back like it's seized up or spasmed or something. But he grabbed his head. It reminds me of, remember Stuart Bradley, probably 10 years ago. Man, he did a tackle and he tried to get up and he basically fell towards the sideline and he was out for a play and he came back in that game. And this was before obviously everything was cracking down. And, it's interesting because I read last week, and this may be true, that the number of concussions or incidents of concussion have gone down recently. Things are working, but those are the concussions that they catch or count, right? So this was kind of an obvious or miss here on Sunday with Tua. So it's a shame because you would think we made so much progress, yet the system is not obviously perfect, and you can see how things there's ways you can kind of get out of it, and there's a bunch of responsibility here, I believe. And a lot of times too, if they miss the outward sign, which I can't believe they did, meaning the loss of balance, they have to go by what the player is reporting. So it's a subjective report. So all players, they want to stay in the game. So they're going to do what they need to do to stay in the game. They don't want to let their team down. They want their starter. Maybe there's a bunch. There's millions of bucks riding on the line potentially for a new contract. There's so many different reasons that you'd want to, lie about your symptoms
for sure,
despite what might be happening. And I can't imagine where you couldn't say that wasn't part of the case. So, but yeah, bad to see though overall. And I think they actually fired the independent neurological guy today or yesterday. So there's some heads that are rolling for this.
Yeah, the NFL is not going to, the NFL is going to cover their butt immediately, like they do. And I'll say it to this day, I don't think they really give a rat's what in terms of the player. And that goes in terms of the contracts that are given out. That it's not like other sports where everything's guaranteed, right? Yeah. It's different. Guys are still fighting for health care that played in the league 30 years ago. I mean, that should never be a problem when you're a multi-billion-dollar business. Guys should be taken care of after the fact of when they played. When you talk about the amount of brain injuries that take place, and yes, do you sign up for it? Sure, but at the end of the day, when your playing career is over, you should still be taken care of like you're still playing. And that's my biggest gripe with the NFL. I'll continue to yell and scream about that one because I honestly don't think they really care. They care when they get pressed, like most big businesses, right? You get pressed, you get your back's against the wall. All right, well, we're going to go find somebody to fire, right? Not that guy shouldn't be fired. I mean, like Sweep said, I don't even need a doctorate to tell you, hey, that guy's concussed, right? I don't need one. That's just like the common sense. Like you said, Doc, you're not going to go for your head if your back hurts. We're all older guys now. We've all pulled a muscle in our back. I never once went to my head. So, but I just don't think the NFL really gives a crap about it unless once it starts affecting the Shield. And when it affects the Shield, they're going to really then say, oh, well, we care so much about it. And, helmet to helmet contact. And we watch a lot of NFL games and a lot of college games. It's almost impossible to get rid of helmet to helmet completely. It's going to be around. It's going to be part of it. Guys are going 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? And not every great athlete can control what their body does at all times. There's incidental head-to-head contact. It just happens throughout the league. You're never going to fully get rid of it unless they just decide one day, you know what, we're going to go to the flag football route.
Well, I think you said it. I think the key thing you said was the aftercare thing. All right, when your so-called leader or the guy that's running things is making $45 million a year, and then and other guys are when your career's over, now there's no money for these guys. There's no they can't give them help, and then next thing you know they're committing suicide. It's brutal. You know what I mean? So no reason that guy needs to be making $45 million. Come on, I want to hear it. Joke.
No, he doesn't.
By the way, Marlins won. Phillies magic number is 1.
Nice.
Well,
that's great. That's great to hear.
Let's
great
go.
to hear. Sweeps.
We're a win by
Sweeps.
Marlins.
No bunt.
Sweeps. That's good. That's good for you, Sweeps.
Oh yeah.
Getting a little nervous. For that text earlier.
Great job by the Marlins.
It's gonna bring
No
gasoline over.
He bunted Carantini 2 innings ago, and he didn't bunt him here. So it's time for Craig to get the axe too, but that's not my team.
You should want him to keep him.
Bill has a question for the doc. Do you think the NFL will be pulling guys out of games faster now because of the Tua situation? Seen a lot of guys get pulled this week.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the microscope is back on them, right, man? So, like, everyone that, there's eyes in the sky, first of all, right? Independent guys looking down. It's like anything that looks like it, they're going to be, like, pulled into that tent because they can't. This is a PR nightmare, man, because, like, they've done all this stuff to kind of make look good, look good. But something like this, with everything in place, I don't know how Sunday happened, So, at first I didn't know and I wasn't sure, but when you see the video, man, it's just like, yeah, man, that just can't happen. So, I think that they're going to be, Bill, I think they're going to be, they're definitely going to be heightened awareness here. And those guys will be busy, man.
I was going to say, it's not even a question, right? That's what this country does, all right? Whenever something happens, it's the immediate Band-Aid thing, and then it goes away after a while. You know what I mean? Like, not to bring up, a long time ago, but, airports, we're really, really strict for about a year. And then not so much, you know what I mean? And obviously in schools and all these other disasters that go on, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like you said, the immediate fix because everybody watched it on TV. Get thrown like a rag doll and then saw what happened. And it's just, they want heads to roll. So
yeah, I tell you,
it'll be for the rest of this year. And then next year it'll be like, I guess we'll start over again. You know what I mean? Just exactly.
Yeah, I think they're going to reassess their policies and probably you're going to see some changes. But I got to tell you, man, Tua in the league, Tua, first of all, obviously we're talking about a person here in their life. He's really lucky. Because, we know he got concussed Sunday, we're pretty sure of that. And within less than a week, he gets concussed again, where he goes to posturing. He's lucky he didn't have second impact syndrome, where there's swelling of the brain that's uncontrolled, and that most likely leads to death, man. So, that's he's very lucky. And the league obviously, dodged a huge one here, which I guess you could say that, but yeah. Again, not good overall.
No, not even a little bit. But like Sweep said, this is what they do. They'll Band-Aid for 5 minutes, and then it'll be like, oh, go ahead. After
in typical NFL fashion, they pinned it on the the guy that's not affiliated with the NFL, the doctor not affiliated. Typical NFL fashion. That's the way they do. That's the way they run things.
Yeah, they're the biggest. They're the most corrupt machine walking around right now.
Like, when did that guy get involved? Because was he there Sunday? I don't think so. That's probably their team guys. I know they have some guys that are probably independent guys that are floating around there.
It's like the guy that they're going to say that's the guy that let them play him on Thursday. Oh, well, this guy said it's fine.
Meanwhile,
why is he going to an unaffiliated guy to get cleared anyway?
Well, we all watched it on Sunday, so we didn't need the independent. Might want to fire this and then go.
He looked like he drank a case of beer on the way when he got back up, and I'm like, "There's no way this guy's coming back." And he came back in. I'm like, "Oh my, this yeah."
So this was a different poll question, but I wanted to bring it up because I saw it back there, and it's another good conversation, but. It's hard to say 4 games in, but I don't know whose show had this week, but it was the 2022 Eagles team is better than the 2017 Super Bowl team. Agree or disagree? That's such a tough one because
if we win the Super Bowl, I'll agree.
Yeah, the other one cut the nets down, right? The other one cut the nets down. What I'll tell you right now is I'm in the middle on it because both are very similar in terms of they can score a lot of points, they play good defense. They find different ways to win football games. They're scrappy. They claw. It looks like they enjoy being around each other. And I think you can say that for any team that's winning. So I'm almost like a split on this. Like it's hard to agree that they're better because the other one's got a banner and a trophy. So until they have that, they're not better. But
statues.
It's statues.
Rings, statues, trophies.
Yeah. So very close up.
You got 18 weeks left. It's been an exciting 4 weeks. No, for you guys, it's an exciting 4 weeks.
It's been a great 4.
They're the best team in football right now. So that's you can put an exclamation mark on it. So
no, you're not wrong.
So
It's hard to say, right?
It's been a great 4 weeks. I'm not discussing them in the 2017 team. It's been a great 4 weeks.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
4-0. 5-0 Syracuse, 4-0 Eagles.
Well, listen, I apologize. I apologize for seeing a poll back here from earlier in the week and just trying to create some conversation, Brian. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Apology accepted.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you create some conversation. You know,
I mean, we're right here. We're conversating the whole time. I just don't. I don't like that. I don't like that question. Not saying that you came up with it. I don't like it.
Listen, I question what I said 32 seconds ago. Better yet,
no one's coming at you. You're coming at me.
I'm just telling you. If I was coming at you, you know I was coming at you. I don't have it in me to come at you.
You're in protocol too, though, so you probably could come at us right now.
I am. I'm freaking struggling over here. I'm fighting, right? I'm fighting.
Yeah.
You're in protocol.
Yeah, you'll get tossed. Better be careful.
I need an independent doctor to fire whoever told me it was good to do a show. You know what I mean? I don't want to fire that guy.
Well, you got to be careful with anybody who wears a shirt that says "Straight Out of Camden" too. By the way, so
it's a donkey's shirt. But.
Straight out of Camden. Now I'm scared of you. Don't
I was born in Camden.
So that question was stupid. We'll go back to our poll. Today's win over the Jaguars is the most impressive win of the season so far for the Eagles. Do you agree or disagree, Paul?
I would say yes to the sense of because they were down. They were down early, quick. They got punched in the chin or mouth, and they responded with 21 unanswered or 20 unanswered points, just about. Actually, more, I believe. So, yeah, I would say to date, yeah. And again, the elements were bad for both teams, obviously, but I would say yes. It's and maybe they were supposed to win this game anyway, but they had to fight back, so they did.
Yeah, breaking news from Woj on a different topic.
Waller tackled the one sweeps.
Power Hero agrees on a 4-year, $130 million extension with the Heat.
Good time to be a basketball player.
Wow.
What did you say, buddy? I'm sorry.
I said Waller just got tackled at the one.
Well,
good time to be a mediocre NBA player.
See, Tom.
First off, Tom, there's a guy I've never heard of before. Got a 11 mil earlier today. 3 years, 11 mil. Bruno Fernandez. Who the hell's he?
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of Rudy. Is that Rudy's brother, Bruno?
Well, Steven Adams is still getting paid a lot of money, so that tells you a lot too. He just got 2 years, 25 mil, and he's a decent player, but
he's probably the 10th best center in the league.
Yeah, but he's also, he's also I feel like he's 90 now.
Yeah, well, the center positions is a joke.
Tom, I don't want to get fired up, Tom, but
you talk about the Eagles, I guess.
Yeah, I'll completely disagree with you. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings are 3-1, not crowning the Vikings.
Doesn't matter who you play. Doesn't matter who you play.
Washington looks like they stink. Okay.
Doesn't matter who you play.
The Jaguars,
everybody's good.
The Jaguars were a tough team coming in here, and the Lions. Okay, the Lions they're essentially in every game, even though they stink. Mm-hmm. But I mean, come on, man. You play who you play. I mean, do you not watch around the league, or are you just a hater?
Yeah. Are you watching the games currently? Because you would probably said going to the game. He probably is a guy Green Bay will roll New England. That's not happening. I mean, it doesn't matter who you play. You got to show up regardless of who you play. It's the NFL. You have to show up.
Trevor was going to pounce, the Vegas too. Probably whatever the case may be.
Doesn't matter who you play. You got to show up. You don't show up, you lose. And it's first quarter, we look like we were in quicksand. We were running in mud. We were running in mud, but it was terrible. I mean, we were terrible out there. First quarter of the game, and then they were able to the ability to turn it around, and especially so quickly take the lead in the second quarter was the best thing to see today, in my opinion.
And that's why we were busting Tommy's balls about the other question that he dug up, because there's about 14, 15 weeks to go. You know what I mean? That's why we always preface it with as of right now.
Circle back.
As of right now, they're the best football team. They're the best team in the NFL. So that's it. As of right now, that's all you can go by. All right, nobody's predicting anything down the road. Okay, so maybe it wasn't the greatest schedule. They're 4-0, very impressive 4-0. All right, that's
how everybody is now, Sweep. So it's 2022. We'll have a guy. Somebody will ask us about the draft later. What do you guys think about the draft?
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Well, somebody did. I mean, somebody said that the Saints. Somebody said that the Saints pick right now is the third overall, which I do like.
Yeah, guess what? I don't care.
I do like to keep updated on that. I do like to say updated.
I will say the Saints stink. What's good to know is the Saints stink. I'll say that. That's good.
Mr. Rudy Poo with a super chat. We appreciate you, Rudy Poo. He says, looks like we got our answer. Jalen said Doug drafted him. Well, Doug's a smart guy. So, I'll continue to say that, even though Greg doesn't agree. But, Doug's a good football coach.
We'll go back to the statues and rings thing here.
But no, I know Sweep circled back to it on me. One last little knife in the gut because I need more of that in this week. But that's why I said it's a really tough and sort of a stupid question too, because you got so much football left to be played. But if you just look at what both teams have did through 4 weeks, you would say, yeah, they're close to them. But I mean, that team was special. So to get the special, you got to then
technically we're better than if you're gonna look through 4 weeks because they were 3-1, I think, right?
Yeah, they might have been.
Didn't we blow the fourth? We blew a game early in that year.
Yeah, the last time we were 4-0 was 2004, and we lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think this is our 5th time being 4-0, maybe. 92 and 93. We were early 91, 92. 92, 93, 91, 92. We were 4-0 both years. Didn't turn out great, so we're not going to talk about those years.
No, and it doesn't matter. Like, you are what you are right now, like Sweep said. Like, right now, hey, it's hard to not argue that you're not number one in the power rankings, right, in the league. But next week, that can change. 3 weeks from now, you start playing bad football, that can change. So it's a week-to-week, binoculars on you, and how do you play this week? And then we continue to judge the product through the first 4 weeks, the first quarter, what it used to be when you played 16 games. You're saying, okay, you can't play better football. All right, now we're going to do another 4. Now we're through another 4. And I know the schedule, to some people say it's easy. It's not easy. It's never easy. It's not college football.
No, it's not easy. You
don't have the cupcakes early on that you're paying $10 million to come travel to your school so you can beat the brakes off of them and send them back walking home. Okay, this is the NFL. The other side's getting paid a lot of money too. So you got to go out and execute. And this team scores points, and a lot of them like quietly too. They're not flashy with it either. They're weird, right? Like they're weird to look at and dissect on what they are. I mean, listen, I'm just proud of this quarterback. Sweep said it last week. He called him a star. He is a star. He's a winner. And he just plays winning goddamn football. At the end of the day, that'll get you $200 million, baby. You just keep playing winning football. I don't need you to be, I don't need you to have Rodgers' arm strength or look like Herbert. I just need you to play winning football. Make the right decisions, the right reads. Like I said, today, his first throw of the game, or second, whatever one it was his worst throw of the year. He hesitated, and he actually had Devontae open, and he tried to force something. Well, guess what? We said that was going to happen. We knew he's going to have moments where it's like, oh, that's a bad throw. Look at the NFL. Guys are going to have bad throws, right? But at the end of the day, he settled himself down too in this football game. Yeah. I'm proud to say he's my quarterback. We had another guy here, and we were proud to say he was our quarterback too until it fell apart. But I'm really proud to say this guy, this kid, this leader is our quarterback. And that feels good to say because we've had other quarterbacks here that, half the fan base liked, half of them didn't like, right? From Donovan to Carson, etc. But this is a guy that's hard not to like. Like, if you don't like Jalen Hurts, I question you. Just like if you don't like him as a kid, you don't like him as a leader, and you don't like him as a football player, then I just question your agenda. That's it. I'm just here to question it.
2017, we lost week 2 to the Chiefs, and then we went on to win 9 in a row.
Yeah,
our next loss.
Would love to start 10-1. That'd be cool.
That was at the Chiefs, and then our next loss was at the Seahawks. So 2 road games were our first 2 losses.
Baker being Baker.
Do you guys want to give?
Talk about losers. Sorry.
I had to continue to knife it.
Another knife.
Look at you. You're not. That's not you. It's not you.
I'm right
Tommy's
here.
kid. That's Tommy's
I
kid.
didn't say it was you. The loser. That's it. You're
I didn't.
not him.
Yep. Wrong again.
Your name's not Tommy Mayfield. That's all. So,
Well, it was for about it.
Yeah.
that's just
Oh,
the way
no, it's Baker
I mean,
Arnaud.
you chose. I know because who he is. Not because-
Almost named Cass Baker. You know what I mean? Like, we were playing good football at the time. You never know. You would
We had to change the name real quick.
Guy doesn't Labrum. Who knows how this goes, right? You know, you never know. Listen, players of the game offensively, you know, it's easy. You know, some kind of minister said it. You know, it's Miles Sanders. I mean, he was, you know, early on he was bouncy, and then once he started putting his foot in the ground and getting off field, you know, that's how good he can be. That's the Miles Sanders we know. When he runs hard and he's not trying to get cute, this is what he does. So looking really comfortable, and is his best game as an Eagle.
He checked his alerts, and then he woke.
Yeah.
Is Bailey Zappi the new Brady? Bailey's happy.
Bailey's
new Brady.
happy.
You can't
Bailey's
make up
happy. New Brady.
You can't make up my social media posts anymore. You know, like you just can't make it up. I crushed JT for 3 months, like literally rode him so hard that I mean he probably needs a lot of powder. I mean, that's how hard I rode him, and he absolutely responded to it, and I'm proud to say he did, right? Because that is the best catcher in baseball. But at the time, he was not. At the time, he needed to be crucified. Same thing this morning or 1 o'clock. Okay, at 1:20 today, Miles Sanders was happy feet and bouncy. That's just the facts of the matter. He wasn't north-south. And guess what? Somebody came and whispered to him, said, time for A2Ds all over you again, buddy. And he literally, I got people attacking me on a post from 1:20 today. Like, I'm like, guys, it was 14-0. So we're not supposed to be critical of 14-0? What are you supposed to do? Say, it's okay. I'm not going to tell you what I'm just watching here.
And he's run everything to the sideline.
And then people tell me, they go, well, that's the play call. No, it's not. Okay, I watched a guy for how many years now bounce. Okay, don't tell me that it's a play call.
I love when they're like, it's a toss to the sideline. It's a toss for you to find your block and then get your foot in the ground and get upfield. That's what it's toss for. It's not a toss to run to the sideline. People are so dumb. There's nothing you can do. I'll tell you what, though, the best run of the day and almost the tone setter, besides, you know, Tommy mentioned when Lawrence missed Agnew wide open, but Hurts lowering the shoulder, getting in the end zone to make it 14-7. That was the tone setter of the day.
That was a 4th down too, wasn't it?
Yep.
I believe
it was a 4th down.
I believe so. Most quarterbacks get stopped on the 1 right there.
And Devin Lloyd laid a stick on him too.
I was gonna say he's not a small guy. Devin Lloyd.
And let me tell you something. We always joked about the 600-pound squats, right? We always said, what does it matter? Well, it matters on some of these runs, doesn't it?
That was a gutsy call, man, because we were sitting there like, oh, man, 4th down. Like, get some points. And they did that twice, man.
Yeah, the second one, Greg can keep telling me it's because the kicker isn't ready. He made an extra point after he got hurt. That was a terrible call by Sirianni. That almost came back to bite us. Terrible.
Just read what's on the prompter.
Yeah, terrible. You can sugarcoat it wherever you want. That's terrible. Yeah. Terrible.
But I'm with you. I don't know why we did.
4th and 3, 8-point lead with 3 minutes left. You kick the field goal. I don't care what you're doing. You kick the field goal. I don't care who's kicking it. You kick the field goal.
Yeah, because that's more.
Or you definitely don't throw the ball.
Yeah. You definitely don't do that. What we did, you don't do. Thank God Lawrence fumbled again the next play.
Yeah, but you know what? That's where I want to take something back from earlier, because this is where the head trauma comes in for me. You know, I felt like they went on a drive there, but then I forget that they didn't get the 4th down, and they should have just kicked it. So you know what? You know, Nick Sirianni, you better be careful, babe. I love the aggressiveness, but you know, you have to take the 3 there. I don't care if you go find somebody on your bench that can just kick it through. Anybody, you just have to take it, even if he's not able to kick it. I mean,
it's a 33-yarder. It's less than an extra point at this point. You got to kick the field goal. You have to. It makes it a 2-score game. You have to kick the field goal.
They just showed that run that Wilson you were talking about with Jalen. They just showed it on Red Zone. That was, I mean, you talk about the helmet,
physical run.
Hit.
It's a physical
hit, but I mean that was helmet to helmet. When they slowed it down, it was.
Yeah, well, he's a running back at that point.
Lloyd came in the head. No, absolutely. But again, going back to kind of the discussion we had earlier with Doc, you know, about the helmet to helmets and the hits to the head. It's just
Yeah.
Just in
I
the
mean,
moment,
it's part of the game.
Unfortunately, never going to stop.
Well, I mean, since we're doing this right now, we used to look at the guy in the middle here. Freaking 6'2". I bounced off tile. So, my question to the doc is, how long I got to deal with this? How long am I going to have a headache for and be like, woo, a little like woo at times?
Oh, Justin Morneau's still woo, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, God,
Shut up.
I'm just saying that's fact. Call Justin; he'll tell you he's still woo.
Yeah, he had a lot of them. This is my first.
Are you really 6'2"? That's what I'm thinking about.
1.5. You know what I mean? I'm sorry for rounding. You know what I mean? My fault for rounding.
Kids adding all day. Kids been adding all day.
It's like Will's coming back with the 2.5 months. JT was bad, not 3.
I don't think it was a full 3, Greg.
Well, I got to tell you, unfortunately, the severity of the injury or how it looks doesn't dictate how long symptoms last. You could be knocked out cold and you're fine the next day, symptomatic wise. So, and sometimes, I always use this example. It happened a couple of years ago. You remember Tim Tebow, right? When he played for Florida, he got knocked out cold, man, thrown up on the sidelines. And I believe he was back the next week. But then there was a baseball player, I played for the White Sox. I forget who it was, stealing second base, got hit by the ball.
It was Justin Morneau.
Twins.
Oh,
it was for the Twins, but it was Justin Morneau, 100%. That's exactly how he got hurt.
Yeah,
stealing second. Yep.
Yeah, and nothing happened.
Still ringing.
Yeah, and he still has symptoms. So, he didn't get knocked out. He continued to play. He had the helmet on, and so you just don't know. So, it could be history of concussion could be playing a role. There could be other, factors that go into this. But usually when someone gets concussed, a normal adult, I said normal, so this might, be, all right. So 7 to 10 days, though, most adults, and the symptoms will calm down if you just kind of, you cut back on activity for the first week, let things just kind of settle down, and then you gradually get back into activity. And for most times, people have symptom resolution in that time. But if they don't, then there's usually some other things going on that happen because of the concussion. Maybe it's the neck, maybe it's the inner ear, maybe it's the visual system that are kind of causing symptoms to be persistent. So, but within the first week, you kind of have to assess the situation, lay low, and then gradually start to get back up. And then, you see where things fall. So, and if symptoms continue, then that's when it needs to be assessed a little further.
I think that was the Morneau thing too, Doc. I think it was the inner ear eventually. Like they said something with the inner ear.
Yeah. That's how I feel right now with the inner ear.
It's
it's almost like you got like air in it. It feels like at times. It's hard to explain. It's not like a ringing, right? It's just like, ooh, that's cloudy in there.
Yeah, you have the and then it's sometimes the symptoms are worse with movement and or positional changes. That's usually the vestibular system, inner ear, and your balance might feel off, or you just might not feel stable.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I'm like Justin Morneau. This is unbelievable. I'm like Justin Morneau. This is unbelievable. Doc, I'll be seeing you.
We shouldn't have told him this. He'll be on WebMD all night.
I've already been on Web. Listen, there ain't no more WebMD.
He's dying.
If Doc can tell you one thing, it's get off WebMD.
Listen, I've had more tests run in the last week than I did in my entire life. I'm tested out over here. I got nothing out in the tank. There's not another blood sample you can take from me. I'm cleared out over here. I'm dry as a bone. So now it's just getting back to trying to not feel like the nauseousness. It's weird, man. Like I've been hitting the face with a baseball off a wall, and I didn't have, like you said, right off the eye. My eye looked like Hitch, and I didn't deal with the symptoms I dealt with with this one. Like this is, and I've probably been concussed before in the past playing football or different sports that we just never knew about, right? Or even just punched in the grill a couple times, which has happened. So, I'm sure there's been other ones, but this one's like, okay, that's what a severe concussion feels like. I've never felt a severe one, and severe one's crazy. Like I couldn't play Sunday. I got hurt Sunday, right? This Sunday I couldn't play. You know what I mean? Even if I wanted to, because you can just feel like the stability in your body the way it is. But it's just like you said, this is something you have to like just lay low with, and it'll gradually get better.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally how it happens. And then usually when people can't get better on their own, like there's not spontaneous resolution, then the therapies, like, there's part of it is exertion training. Like you get people to tolerate physical activity again. You get them on the bike, you get them on the treadmill. You start doing exercise in combination with things to like address their neck pain or their inner ear problems. And that's how you kind of like, it's like, here's the problem list. And you just, you put treatments to each problem, and it kind of helps people recover if they're not recovering on their own. And think about it too, like someone like Tua, man, he's a professional football player, how quick he has to move and how quickly he has to move his head, and his eyes have to make automatic adjustments based on that head movement. That's all inner ear stuff. And if your inner ear is not working well, I mean, you're just at risk for any type of injury because you're not stable at there, let alone another concussion. So, yeah, man, there's a lot to that, but again, for most people, you give it a week or so, you get back to activity gradually, and then if not, then a more formal therapy process is most likely needed. And how long that has to happen depends on the person, the individual.
Yep, this is fun. So I'll be seeing the Burlington or Cherry Hill locations shortly at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Thank God you accept most major insurances, Doc. I'll be on the bike soon in there, I'm sure. I'll be on the bike. This is my life. Probably out of work for friggin' 3 months, like Justin Morneau, fighting for stability. But at least the Eagles are 4-0, so that's a great thing.
And the Phillies got a magic number.
Phillies magic number's 1.
Yeah.
Eagles 4-0. Syracuse 5-0. People are feeling good, Tom. People are feeling good.
Yeah, I'm trying to feel good, Brian. I'm here, aren't I? You know what I mean?
I would say A+ effort out of you. First off, you came on saying I'm just going to start it off and then I'm going to pass it over, and you talked for the first 5 minutes. So I'd say A+ effort. A+ effort.
Listen, talking
the guy on the bike, and he's just going to go. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, it's easy. It's like easy for me. You know what
we
I mean?
can put you on that senior bike if you want, the little like bike you put next to a chair. It's just like a pedaler.
Yep, I'll be pedaling soon. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Hamster on a wheel.
Yeah, Jason's the man. That's all right.
Yeah, Jay, I know you and Jason are good friends. There's Marcus, who does a show every Thursday here on A2D Radio, Pro Fan Talk. He played obviously college football and played for the Eagles. So I'm sure he's dealt with a few in his playing day. He said it feels like there's water in your ear, but different. Yeah. It's a good way of saying it.
Actually, that's actually that makes a lot of sense too. I mean, it could be a symptom that everyone feels differently, but going back to the inner ear is a fluid-filled structure. So and sometimes the fluid in there called the endolymph, it starts to move differently. There's like a different drag to it. So the water in your ear might just feel like it's, I don't know, moving differently. I don't know if that's a good way to explain it, but that might explain just the sensation that this guy Pro Fan Talk was talking about.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we were doing offensive players of the game for the Eagles. I said Miles. Is there really anybody else? And listen, I want to give Miles a ton of credit because he was upset with us this offseason.
It should be unanimous. You know what I mean? Like you said, we always want to be different and try to give our perspective on a bunch of guys, but it should be unanimous.
Is Miles better?
Definitely Miles. Yeah.
Is Miles better than the 2017 running back? No, I'm just kidding.
I'll take Blunt. No,
I just want to give the guy a ton of credit, man, because obviously he heard some things that were said this offseason on A2D, and he felt the need to comment in, and I'm glad he heard it because this is the guy we expected. This is what he can be when he's not trying to bounce everything. That's the point. There's going to be plays that are designed to be bounced, but there's also 50% of those plays that are designed to put your foot in the ground and get upfield. And he doesn't do enough of it. I don't care if you're in the shotgun. Doesn't mean you don't work your way towards, the left tackle and put your foot in the ground and get up through the hole there, right? So that's what you look at when you look at him. And today was an example of I'm not saying he's going to have these weeks every week, but how good he can be when he's not trying to do too much. Take what's given to you, right? And as a running back, you got to do that. You got to be patient. You can't have happy feet, okay? You got to trust what you see and find the hole and go. And today, this is the Miles Sanders who's going to make money at the end of the year if he continues, because, he's projected to have about 1,200 yards, maybe 8 touchdowns. So he's projected to have a good year right now. We'll see if it can continue. But the biggest thing is, Miles, he's held on to the damn football. And that's always a win when we talk about you. On the defensive side, Haason Reddick was a difference maker today defensively. And this is why you go out and you pay a man like this. Yep. This guy is arguably one of the best ends in football that nobody talks about. He's so underrated. And when you actually say, hey, Haason, go get that guy back there.
Go get the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't want you to drop back. I mean, I saw Josh Sweat in coverage today. I almost threw up again. Could have been the nauseousness, but I almost threw up again. Right? I don't want to see.
I know exactly what play you're talking about.
Yep. I don't want to see Josh Sweat have his jock strap right on the ground because he's not a cover guy. And I don't want, even though Haason Reddick's such a great athlete that he can do it, I'm not saying he can't do it, people. I'm saying he doesn't need to do it, because if he's going after the quarterback, game in, game out, that dude walks away at the end of the year with 14 sacks. All right, that's just how it goes. That's how explosive he is, how good he is. He's top 5 in the last 2 or 3 years in sacks in the NFL. That's a sample size. That's not, hey, it ain't a mirage. The dude figured it out. Now line him up in different places. Use him as a joker. Okay, do what they do with Micah Parsons. All right, I'm not saying he can never drop back, but he should be dropping back 2% of the damn time. 2%.
I'm right with you, Tommy.
Yeah, he's got 3.5. He's got 3.5 sacks in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Listen, that's what he should be doing the whole time. We've all said it. Haason Reddick is my defensive player of the game, and I got to run because I got fantasy hockey draft, and I better be picking well. Doc, fill in for me the rest of the way. I will say,
let us know you're a degenerate without telling us you're a degenerate.
Well, I mean, I am. But my crumb is Marcus Peters. He's a clown, slamming stuff on the sideline. He's a typical fake tough guy clown that he's always been. Hate Marcus Peters. Crumb of the week. Let's go. Birds 4-0. Great seeing everybody. Finish the show strong. Peace, boys.
See you on broad, Wells.
No, Haason Reddick's a good one. I mean, TJ Edwards led the team in total tackles again.
For that.
Bradbury with the pick, though, right? I mean, a lot of guys played well.
Yeah, you're such a proud father right now. And
I am. He's playing so well.
He's over the football field, Greg. I got to pee, guys. I'll be right back.
But someone who I don't need to see on the field, and I know he was there for an injury to Maddox, Josiah Scott can just go away and never see the field again. First time I saw him running behind someone trying to catch him, I thought it was Boston Scott. I'm like, why is Boston? I thought Boston Scott was out of the game. Why is he playing defense?
Maybe that was Michael Scott.
I'd rather have Michael Scott playing
than
Josiah, right? There was a bunch of guys on the defense though, like with 4 tackles, Sweat, White, Josiah Scott, actually, Jordan Davis. I saw him all over the field too. So I mean, they think the defense was.
Yeah, they look good, man. I mean, listen. I mean, what's the name needs a lot more awareness pocket-wise. I said that to my wife, and like as soon as I said that, the guy on TV was like, "Oh, he needs more pocket awareness." My wife said, "You change your job." Yeah, because he's holding the ball with one hand.
Yeah,
he's getting swiped about 2 or 3 times. That happened, I think. So, but they were all over him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. You don't take anything away from the Eagles' defense, but that one, if you're a Jaguars fan, is all over. At defeat of Lawrence, you can't turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win on the road, against an elite team in the NFL in those conditions. You just can't do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm rooting for the guy, but obviously not when he's playing the Eagles.
Yeah, and I landed obviously, like you said. To me, it was a Miles, and a Reddick.
Sweet.
And everybody else filled in. It was a team win, but those guys obviously stood out. Don't have to be Captain Obvious, but Haason Reddick, I think 4 tackles, two sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. I mean, that's an automatic stamp right there. So the rest of his teammates played well, and it's a good team win, being down 14-0. But that's a Miles Sanders, Haason Reddick day right there.
Yeah, one thing I saw a lot too, like they look like like they have to respect Jalen Hurts, his ability to take off, because they had a guy on him all the time, and like every time he ended off, the guy was right at Jalen because he had the ball. Even if they only ran for a few yards, but it just opened it up a little bit. I mean, how do you cover that? And then you got 2 good receivers, maybe 3. I mean, if they're clicking on all cylinders, man, that's dangerous, man. They'll do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. They're down 14-0. 4th and goal. We all knew what was. I think whoever the announcer thought the same thing. Hey, this is a good spot for a quarterback draw. Jags didn't know that. Even though the guy laid the boom on him. Great job by Jalen just to absorb it and lower his shoulder and get in there and know that it was 4th down and his football team needed to play and needed to score right there. So. It was just a great effort by him. And, we'll see. Like I said, it's 4 weeks in. We'll see how they adjust to defenses making adjustments. That's because that's going to come. It should have. You would expect it to come already. And really, I guess it has in the so-called second halves. And they haven't had great second halves. So that probably, like we talked about last week, that's the one thing if you want to nitpick for the cause, there's a cause, a cause of alarm, cause for alarm. That's the Eagles' second half. And even on cruise control, they haven't had to do anything. But today, 20-14, you have to do something, but you did enough where, it was only 9-7 in the second half. Still won the second half. You did enough, but without Trevor Lawrence, spitting the hook back, that could have been, that could have been a loss at home, because you don't have the second half, put away football teams like, we've been asking for 4 weeks. And that's going to have to improve, going forward if they want to, even be compared to 2017.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's funny. You could tell we ran the ball, 50 times, obviously with the weather, because you look across the way that the 2 linebackers, that Olakon had 16 tackles, and first round pick Devin Lloyd had 14 tackles. So we can tell we were running the football.
The Jaguars,
yeah. So we got the Arizona Cardinals next. What are your and they're up right now 26-16.
Yeah, they just.
What are your early thoughts? This is a road game. I think we're on the road, right? Next week? We go to Arizona?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, we go to Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about the Panthers and Baker. I thought this was all roads pointing to them because the Cardinals do nothing for me. It is what it is. But they went in there and made a statement themselves. They're 4 minutes away from getting a huge road win. So maybe that kind of tilts their season a little bit. Now they're coming back home.
Is D-Hop back or D-Hop one more week?
I think one more week.
I should know. I have him in every fantasy league.
They got they have the best team in football coming in. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be a good test. Kyler's a guy that can obviously makes plays with his legs.
Yeah.
So, you gotta have to contain him, and he does a lot of street ball stuff. So he's going to make you can force him into making mistakes.
Week 7, so we're good.
If you wait, he's going to try to fit something in. He's going to try to make a play that he shouldn't make, and he'll turn the football over. So, the way this Eagles defense has been playing and how opportunistic they've been already, and then you got a guy that's prone to turning the football over because he's going to try to make plays, and he's going to, that's what he does. So, it could be, it could be disastrous for the Cardinals, or it could be, a good football game, especially since it's on the road. So, it'll be a good test. Who was that? The guy fell down. Oh,
Do
jeez.
they still have Larry Fitzgerald? Or is he?
Oh,
he's
he retired.
He
Yeah, he
retired.
retired.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm trying to figure out who their receivers are. I know they got Zach Ertz.
Yeah, Marquise Brown. That's really it.
That's really it.
Look,
Rondell Moore's back now, but
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah. No, I'm kind of with you, Sweeps. I'm interested to see what the defense looks like with a guy that's got a little bit of mobility, right? The last 2 weeks, we played pretty much statues back there, right? Even though Sunshine's got a little mobility to him, he was in the pocket the whole time.
3 in a row. I mean, Cousins,
3 in a row. Yeah, you're right.
Carson and him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see what this defense does with a guy like they face in practice. So what's nice is we kind of have that kind of – they go up against that every day in practice. So it'll be interesting to see because, he can scoot and get out of some places, but he does come up small in big moments and definitely does cough the ball up. So interested to see once the Cardinals end up winning, interested to see where that line starts later tonight to see what Vegas kind of their thoughts early on in this line.
Yeah, it probably should be like Eagles 4.
Yeah, I would think +3, +4, -3, -4, somewhere in that range. I'm with you, which really means like a touchdown game, but you're giving the
You give me 3. You give me 3.
3 to road.
3 at home. Yeah, absolutely. That's okay. I mean, it shouldn't be. On the road, you shouldn't be laying 7 or 8 anyway, unless it's you're playing atrocious football team. You know what I mean? So the Eagles were 3.5, 4 against the Lions in week 1. So there's no reason they'll probably be a 5-point favorite against
KJ Hamler's alive.
Yeah, it's tied up. New England Patriots, man. All right, Green Bay.
Yeah, the Green Bay just scored a couple minutes ago.
Wow.
And now they got the ball. 2:38 to go. 2nd and 8.
Yeah.
That game was so slowly developing, man. Now it's
But another great job by.
I didn't take it, but I didn't. I kind of smelled that this was a New England cover game.
I was going to say another tremendous job by Bill, and obviously the NFL being the NFL.
Yeah.
No Mac Jones on the road. We know the Packers.
All the Packers.
Yeah, exactly. We know the public. Packers aren't loaded, but still, it's just Bill's going to have his team show up. So I agree with you. Betting guys, give me the Pats all day, and that's where we're at right now. 2 minutes to go.
It would suck right now though if you took the money line and you were cruising the whole second half, and now you're like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Giants won. I didn't know that. How about that?
Yeah, Giants are 3-1.
Yeah,
Cowboys are 3-1.
Yeah, what do you think, man? What's his name supposed to come back? What are they going to do with that? Dak.
That's interesting because you're right. He's
the money,
and I love it. Right, QB controversy.
Cooper Rush might be better right now, and that's it is what it is. But money talks and all that other stuff. I know Jerry's talking a good game and acting like there's a controversy and all this stuff. But any coach loves competition because it makes makes your team better and it makes the position better. It makes guys stay hungry and stuff. But in professional sports, when you're paying a guy a boatload of money and he's QB1, and he gets hurt, it's his job when he comes back. You know what I mean? Oh, Rodgers, right on the money. Speaking of QB1s, goodness gracious, drop that out of a hot air balloon. Oh my!
I must be in a delay. You called that? I'm watching CBS right now.
Sweeps is so ahead. I'm on the same CBS feed too.
What the heck, man?
They're just walking up to the line of scrimmage right now.
No wonder why he's winning his bets, man. Over here.
Right out of a hot air balloon. And did he take it to the ground? He did. No, it came out. Look at this.
Oh,
that's Dobbs again.
Oh,
come out.
Yeah, he's caught. Yeah, it came out.
He put him. He brought him out of exile because Dobbs just caught the last one. Dobbs caught the last one. I didn't think he was going to get another ball after he fumbled earlier.
Molly's right. Riverboat Ron, who everybody did like the Skins as the second pick in this division. Before the season. They're just
it comes all the way.
Never, as much as I like Ron, and I know Ron does a great job, and and they had some other pieces. It just with Carson at the helm, I could never put them ahead of the Cowboys. That's just how far he's fallen from grace. You know what I mean? Like it's a shame.
I took the Skins today and took it on the chin.
Are they counting this? Are they counting that? No, they can't count that.
It should. I mean, it's different. Like as a runner, all you got to do is break the plane, but as a receiver, you gotta take it to the ground.
Yeah. You got to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Des Bryant didn't catch it, right? I mean, that's the Des Bryant. That's the Calvin Johnson.
No shot. Well, this is in the end zone, but I know what you're saying, Greg. Absolutely, but this is
Calvin
in the
Johnson. They were both in the end zone.
No. Dak was like, excuse me. What's the face was at like the 5-yard line. He skidded all the way. The Des Bryant catch. He skidded. He wasn't in the end zone.
Des Bryant. He's still
but I don't believe Des Bryant was in the end zone. Calvin was, though. You're right. That's where it all started. Calvin definitely was. Des was, I believe, he was skating. He laid out.
Maybe he was short. Yeah,
he laid out and he was short.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's an interpretation of two rules again. You know what I mean? Like as a runner, all you got to do is reach it over. As a receiver, you got to come down with it. I get it. I get it.
Steratore was just saying they think they're gonna stay with the incomplete. I saw him. I saw it pop up, so I wanted to see what Steratore was saying.
How do you not? I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah, I mean the ball comes fully out.
Yeah.
What did Marcus say before this?
I think he was talking about the Tommy. When you tap your head, you hear reverb.
We got a special treatment for that, Tom. Don't worry, man.
This is another one, the whole offensive line. I mean, Jeff Stoutland, give him a blank check for as long as he wants to stick around. That dude is incredible that he's able to get these guys ready to go. Incomplete. There you go. Ready to go at a drop of a hand. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, Driscoll, he struggled the first couple snaps, but then he settled in and you didn't hear him anymore. And then to lose your guard and bring Opeta in and still run 50 times for whatever we did, that's give that man whatever he wants. As John Malkovich and Rounders said, pay that man his money.
Absolutely. There's guys that are great at what they do. And, Eagles known for, their offensive linemen.
It goes back to like Juan Castillo back when they had him as the O-line coach before they tried to make him a defensive coordinator, a head coach, like all that stuff. When he was the O-line coach, that guy was awesome too.
Yeah, Joseph, we saw that too, and that tweet was sent to us too. You couldn't see it live, and I had just texted these guys how delicious AJ Brown is, just because he's just such a man child, So everything he does is he's a huge game changer. He's made this team, what they are offensively, and that takes nothing away from Jalen Hurts. He's made adjustments, he's studied, and he's made himself, a tremendous quarterback and a star in this league. But the AJ Brown signing was huge. So I have nothing but great things to say about AJ Brown all the time. But that was horseshit on the interception. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like you said, you can't really see it live until somebody sends you a breakdown, and it's crazy. Yeah. And I feel like he could have touched him. I mean, if he was
tackle him at any time,
but at least a two-man touch, get a hand on him, do something. I don't know what he was doing.
Bailey Zappi's going to have to go 98 yards, or he's at the 2, starting from the 2-yard line to try and win the game. 2 minutes left. Welcome to the NFL, Bailey.
In Green Bay.
In Green Bay. Thankfully, all they need is a field goal. So
Josh,
he's back.
I'm nobody, dude.
Miles dedicated this game to Tommy at his press conference.
If he did, that means we made it. I hope he did. Love to have him.
Jason, I know this is earlier, but have a good night, brother, if you're still here.
Take care.
There, Jay. I got to roll too, guys.
All right, Doc.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, appreciate it. On your way out, you want to let everybody know what you got going on?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is always a busy time of year. I mean, we honestly, we're on the topic of concussion. It's there's a bunch in our office right now, but we're helping people out, which is good. So if you got any issues with concussion or what have you, and you need to get looked at, give us a ring. But you can find us at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We're in Cherry Hill in Burlington, and we're there every day, Monday through Friday. We're there late Monday through Thursday, 9 to 8. So if you in school, if you're in practice, you need to come afterwards. We can definitely get you at nighttime. So, if there's any issues, give us a ring on that. And or we coordinate a lot with the ATCs and their docs there too. So if there's any post concussion care that needs to happen, we try to coordinate so everyone's on the same page, that type of thing. So,
yeah, Doc, I'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, man, just ring on, let me know.
Doc, always a pleasure. Keep up the great work, my friend.
Thanks, Doc.
Right,
Yeah, Doc. Great talking to you.
Yep, go Phils, man.
Let's go. Magic number is down to 1.
Not too much, Doc. Relax. just enough to break the drought.
Now everybody really sees the pupils. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't, everybody. We appreciate you all joining us. Million comments tonight, and can't thank you guys enough. Bailey says, who's your Phillies manager next year? Well, it's this guy. It's Robbie. We make the playoffs. Stickman says, don't jinx me, but you're my guy if I take a spill. I guess he's talking about the Doc.
I believe so.
I took a spill, so I'll let you guys all know.
Stay upright, Sticks. Good to see you, buddy.
Kayvon, there's always crumbs, brother. You know how it goes here. We'll get there. Reborn Soul Vibe says, hello, everybody. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm on a high. I miss you guys. It's Renee. What's up, Renee?
What up, Renee?
Big win today. 4-0, peeps. 4-0. And Bailey, yeah, we're gonna get excited about the Sixers. It's right around the block. We're not there yet. We're deep in the football and Phillies, but you know how we roll here at A2D. As soon as the Sixers get going, it's a big year. All right. I mean, I got no other way to tell you. It's a monster year for this organization to really find out if it all worked. And we're talking about another roster on paper that looks great. Looks great. How's the play? We're going to find out soon. So don't worry about it, Bailey. We'll be talking Sixers. I think they're going to be, I'm saying the obvious here. I think they're damn good. They're a top 3 team in the East. And if they're not, there's a problem. Devin, you can come in here doing this. The only reason I give you a goddamn pass is because you're a member. You're an A2D member. Okay. And anyway, become an A2D member, $9.99 a month. Get your picks from Willie Vegas, Nate Moss, get you in line for our giveaways that we do for jerseys that are coming back. So the link,
cheap shot right out here.
The link for that is pinned right in our comment section on YouTube. So you can become
a horrible DFS day. I didn't get my Willie Vegas picks today. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Well, the guy's a perennial loser. So
yeah. Follow me, buddy. 2 for 2.
I tried. Bet you. Sorry, I don't want to rip a sponsor, but Bet US doesn't allow me to do that.
They're not a sponsor. They can go fuck themselves.
Yay!
When you never pay out, you're not a sponsor.
Oh, touche.
But yeah, we talked about defense. We talked about the offense today. Next week we go to Arizona. That's going to be a tough test.
Yeah, when we were away, we were going through. What's your early thoughts, Tommy?
We like to do this every week. Man, it's hard to get to 5-0, right? It is.
Tough week, and they're coming off a big win, right?
They are. I think we listen. I just think that it's hard to bet against this football team right now. Until look at this on cue, Sean Corhan. I hope I got your last name right, Sean. Probably not. I'm concussed. But he became an A2D YouTube member. We appreciate you, Sean. Who's the next up? And Sean, when we do our giveaways and all that stuff, we'll spin the wheel. All our members are in that wheel that we spin. So welcome, and then you get the picks every weekend. Nate and Willie Willie sometimes, but Nate's always consistent with his picks, and he also gives away free ones every Sunday before the slate of NFL games. and you catch that on all our lives. So if you guys are just joining us, that's why we tell you to subscribe and like. Greg, their defense is good in Arizona. I don't care what they did today. I find it hard for us not to score 30. We're going from bad conditions to good conditions.
Yeah,
perfect conditions. Yeah, you don't get any better than where we're going. So in terms of that, I think we're scoring 30. How healthy is our defense next week? I don't know. Is Slay able to play? Is Maddox able to play? So that's some of the question marks I have.
Yeah.
But right now,
Josiah Scott can go kick rocks. Goodbye.
I think we're in a field goal game. So if you ask me right now, gun to my head, I'll say Eagles 30, Cardinals 27.
Yeah, we
banged up Jake Elliott for the win.
Yeah, we kind of figured the line. I was saying, I wonder after these slated games end where the line starts. And we kind of thought it would be Eagles -3, -4, somewhere in that range, to where it's really a touchdown game. But with being on the road, it'd be a 3-point, a 3-point spread and stuff like that. So, yeah, as we said, it would be interesting to see what they do with a quarterback that's not a statue, right? The last couple of weeks, we've had guys where we knew they're going to be. We're not going to know where you're not going to know where Kyler's going to be, and that's good or bad. Right?
Yeah, it could be on Call of Duty,
and that's true. But the good thing is we go up against the same guy, a very similar guy in practice every week, so that's another bonus for us. So.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. You guys want to do crumbs and
we can
get into the crumbs.
We can do crumbs and get out of here, I guess. We did a good hour 30.
Oh yeah.
You picked yourself off the deck. Proud of you, buddy. Nice job.
That's what I do.
For me, I'll go first. Nobody will have this one. This is a Frank Reich bashing right now.
I'm fucking here for it all.
Not only 1-2-1. Not only 1-2-1, you were supposed to be the savior, right? You threw, and I'm not a Wentz guy. We talk about Wentz, absolutely falling from the grace when after the Super Bowl year, right? So we were the first ones to acknowledge that. So don't get me wrong there, but. All right, everybody, he was the scapegoat last year, even though he had pretty good numbers. All right, I know they lost in Jacksonville, and they lost to the Raiders at home. Okay, right, but he was the only one who took responsibility. Nobody else in that room looked at themselves, especially you, Frank. You brought him in, and he was supposed to be, I had him before, and I'm the quarterback whisperer and all this shit. All right, so last year, epic failure. All right, now you go to this year, 1-2-1, absolute disgrace. Here we go again. You got a new quarterback. Matt Ryan's 100 years old. I like Matty Ice. Matty Ice was good 5 years ago. All right, sorry. So that's not the answer, as we can see. And then today, this is put the cherry on top. 4th and 21. I understand you don't go through the Rolodex of plays, and and you don't have Fred X. You don't have Fred X playing for you. I get it. You understand? 4th and 21, but you're down 7, moron, with 2 minutes to go. You don't try a 51-yard field goal and then hope to get the onside kick, right? You run a play. Maybe you get pass interference. Maybe you pick up the first down. You certainly don't try a field goal and then hope that you get an onside kick. You know how hard that is, Frank? You fucking idiot. Then you missed a field goal. Game's over. You're in that, time for you to look in the mirror, Frank, right? And take a step back and maybe fire yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy who got a lot of credit here, as he deserves. He was a great offensive coordinator. Doesn't mean you're a great head coach. But I remember people in this city arguing with me to tell me he was the brains of us winning a Super Bowl. And I'll tell you, look, today's whatever today is, okay, for Jacksonville. But let's look at the job Doug Pederson done from the second he's walked in the door there. I mean, he literally changed the shit culture in a day, per se. That just goes to the type of man he is. That doesn't mean he's the smartest guy ever or he created the game of football. That means guys will play hard for coaches that they believe have their back. That's coaching 101. That's been going on for years. And if players feel like that you have your best interests in hand and they feel like you care about them, right, and you have a clue, they're going to run through walls for you, right? It's just the way it works. okay? And they talk to you in the hallway, make you feel like your family matters to them, make you feel like you matter to them. I mean, when you're talking about being around people as much as you are in professional sports, that fucking shit matters. And it just does. And it doesn't mean, yeah.
I think the guy next to you would have to admit that. I mean, he's one of the guys that didn't like him, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, and not everybody, is everybody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? But I still think at the end of the day, Greg will say that he's a good football coach, just like he doesn't like Reese Hoskins. 30 home runs, almost 100 RBIs. I mean, listen, it's just not your cup of tea. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm a Reese guy. I'm just saying the guy next to you can speak on those two guys that he doesn't like. It doesn't mean that they can't get it done. You know what I mean?
No, I mean Doug's in a perfect spot, right? And that's the perfect guy for that spot with that quarterback too, right? Young quarterback. Doug's been through it, right? I said it when they hired him, whether I like him or not. It was the perfect landing spot for him. And I think it's showing right now because I know Tommy, you were high on him going in. I didn't necessarily think they might. I didn't think they'd get the double digits, but I definitely think they'd improve because of Doug being there and being a more stable
what a
name.
What a dumpster fire he inherited. You know what I mean? That's how bad Urban Meyer is. That's how bad Urban Meyer was.
And Doug Marrone before that too. Let's not stop there.
Oh yeah,
Urban was there for a hot minute.
We can go back a while here.
By the way, whoever took the Patriots plus the points, congrats, cash that ticket because you just overtime or not, you won.
Yeah. Ricky, we'll know more about the injuries tomorrow. We talked about it earlier on in the show, so it's just one of those things that we got to wait till Monday on.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's super serious. The biggest concern is probably Mulata's and if Darius Slay broke his forearm or not. I'm gonna crumb myself, and I'll tell you why. I believe that this baseball team was a playoff team from the beginning of the year. Everybody knows that. I'm just crumbing myself for questioning some of the terrible performances that we watched in September, right? And thinking like, oh, they're dead. They're dead in the water. So there's something to be said about this locker room. It might be better than we think it is because I know it's the Nationals, but that game too, right off Jump Street, when you came out smoking hot and barreling everything, it sort of shows me that, you know what, this is a pretty tough-minded locker room. They're able to respond. They have some resiliency. I don't care how they get in. I told you guys this from the beginning of the year. I don't care. I don't care if it looks pretty, doesn't look good. Doesn't matter because they haven't been there in so long. So it's about getting over the hump. But I'll officially crumb myself that, Harper hasn't changed stuff here if we get to the postseason because I will give him credit because he's obviously a big part of it, even though he hasn't been that successful since coming back, right? But you get in, man, a lot of guys, you get over that hump here, you deserve credit. Now you got to go win some postseason baseball games. But I'll crumb myself for thinking that this guy in this locker room was a little fraudulent if they get in.
Yeah. I mean, magic number's 1, so PJ Ray is kind of on that. What a day for Philly sports. Let's go. How about the Marlins?
Yeah, my bad. I don't really have a crumb, so I'm really just like.
No, you've been out of the loop. No, you're good though. It's a good one because you've been very critical. You've been very critical, as you should be, right? I mean, you've been very critical, and it's all fair.
I just get annoyed when a guy who makes $20 million has to answer a question every night, and the highest paid guy can answer it whenever he wants to. And to me, if I'm in that locker room, that fucking bothers me when I'm losing. When I'm winning, I don't give a shit. But when I'm losing, I got to be the one that stands in front of this. I ain't making the most money on this team. So I feel like that would rub guys the wrong way. Nick Castellanos, I don't know what Nick is. Nick tells you that he's a leader. If you watch how he goes about his business, he'll fucking tell you that. But I don't know. But what I do know is that this group of guys can get through firing a coach, being way behind stuff, catching fire, playing good baseball. It tells me that you're starting to create a good culture. That's what it tells me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said before, Greg goes, just to comment on that, and then I got to get the spells so I can, get pissed off. they're backing their way in. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how you get in.
Fucking Rodgers just died. Aaron Rodgers just died.
Doesn't matter how you get in. They're limping in. All right, let's be true. Let's call, and that's kind of what you're saying right there. That's why you were, either apologizing or whatever, because really they limped their way in. All right, the Brewers are horseshit, and we said that for months that the Brewers been horseshit. So it's not taking anything away from the Phils and their accomplishment. They're trying to, break the drought. Don't get me wrong. All right, but when you add the third wild card, without the third wild card, you got 3 games to go, and you're still down 2. All right, so you'd have needed a miracle had there been 2 wild cards, and this isn't a coulda, woulda, shoulda game. All right, so the third wild card, it added some excitement. It allowed them to, get to where they got to get to. That coupled with the fact that the Brewers stink, right? So now will they fix it? See how they play against the Astros going into the Friday's matchup, with the Cardinals. We'll see. It's they got, and there's no excuses. They got their 2 dudes. They got Wheeler and Nola. So giddy up, and this could be a dangerous team. As bad as they have played down the stretch, it's a scary team. So there's no puff and chest there. That's a scary opponent. And as far as spells, knock it off. I mean, I think he's just asking a question, but it goes along with the same narrative, the same lazy narrative that people have been saying for a month now. Pull-ons on steroids, and the league wants the Cardinals to win. Knock it the fuck off. You understand? Plenty of greats have finished up their career and nothing has happened. All right, so knock it off. All right, the guy's finally healthy. The guy came back home to where it all started. All right, got the most at bats that he's gotten a long time. Was, oh, by the way, pretty good for the Dodgers in limited time, right? This isn't the Angels Albert Pujols, right? So he kills left-handed hitters, one of the best hitters of all time. So let's grow up with all that, and not that he was saying that. He was just asking me about the Cardinals fix. It couldn't be any more couldn't be any more false. All right, I wish it was. Love to have him and Waino and Yachty ride off into the sunset and win the World Series this year. All right, don't think it's going to happen. All right, the top head, the National League is those guys at the top are pretty good, pretty good. All right, and that's not counting the American League teams too. So so I'm not sure what kind of fix he's talking about. Maybe he's I don't know. I guess he's just asking a question. Love you, Spells. All right, but to me, it's all the other noise, all the white noise, and all the other bullshit. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm just excited to talk some Phillies postseason baseball. It's been too long, so it's nice. I don't care if they give me 27 wild cards. It's just nice for us to be able to have the conversation. So I'm happy to be here, hopefully, and happy to see how it plays out. And who knows? Maybe we do catch some lightning in the bottle. Maybe we are able to win a series. Who knows? I mean, that's what's great about postseason baseball. I probably won't bet us, but it doesn't mean it can't be us. Greg, give us your crumbs so we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and PJ Wright, I know we're talking birds today in the post game, but we talk it all, brother. So don't worry about throwing anything in the chat. We talk it all. My crumb is a combination of ESPN, MLB, Washington Nationals. I mean, first of all, ESPN and MLB, no one cares about Judge hitting 62. So stop breaking in to college football games to watch Aaron Judge walk it, get struck, strike out, or walk. No one cares about 62. The record's been broken. When he's hitting 70, you can come break into games. But just for an American League record or a Yankees record, no one cares. No one cares. We're not here to watch the Yankees. If we wanted to watch the Yankees and Judge, we'd be watching the Yankees and Judge, not breaking into college football games. And then just the Washington Nationals teamed with MLB with just this weekend's worth of games. Like just a disaster that this weekend was with games and letting the Nationals try and get 2 games in for a doubleheader.
Make $300. Like, what are you doing?
You get 300 people in the stands. Like it's not like you're packing the stadium. It's not like it's a red October, right? You know what I mean? Where people are coming in the stands. Just have a normal back-to-back doubleheader. Let the people stay there. You don't need double gates to where you try and win it. Try and make as much money in a 100-loss season. You're a dumpster fire. Granted, we didn't sweep you because we're for the first 2 games, we were equally as much as a dumpster fire. But it was atrocious. You knew the weekend was going to be sketchy with the weather, and then you start playing these games where you have to split. You leave too much time in between games. Just an absolute disaster from MLB and all parties. And it was just typical of the product, right? And Sweets, you love saying it with Manfred, right? I mean, just typical of the product that is today. As beautiful as the game is, it's just like you let the external stuff just try and ruin what is a beautiful game.
No, I agree with you, especially like I said on the other point. Like, unless you're going to wipe out the other 5 or 6 seasons that are ahead of Judge, knock it off. All right, and if you're talking about the last game of the season with a chance at the Triple Crown, absolutely. Then cut in all you want. I mean, you're talking about history, and then the guy's been awesome. He's had an awesome year, right? But I don't need to see 62 means nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
The other guys aren't in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so that's great, right? Then you have to wipe them out of the books. Then you know what I mean? Like, so if
because it's inconvenient for you to admit it.
Just wipe exactly. Wipe McGuire out, wipe Sosa out, wipe out all these guys. So what is 62? It don't make any sense. Don't make any sense. It's stupid. You know what I mean? But the Triple Crown, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
I'm over the steroid narrative, to be completely honest with you, because the same people who are bitching about the steroid narrative, there was guys who gripped the baseball and threw it that were juicing too. So I mean, it was a league full of fucking juicers. So we're just going to disregard what the best juicers did. I mean, it is what it is.
And you just inducted one first ballot.
Well, listen, I'll leave you with this. Bigger than this,
won the first ballot, David Ortiz.
Bigger than this, Major League Baseball didn't care. Okay, they allowed it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They were packing stadiums. Guys' fucking foreheads and heads grew 27 inches, and guys were losing baseballs like it was nobody's business. Okay, but at the end of the day, you still got to barrel it. You still got to hit it out. You still got to see it. It doesn't mean you don't have an advantage. I'm just saying that the guys that were pitching were trying to use the same advantage. The guys next to you in the locker room saw other guys doing it. Everybody started doing it. I'm not telling you it's right. I'm not telling you I fucking condone it. What I'm telling you is, okay, then you say to yourself, who was the best of the best through this period, right? We're not going to act like Barry Bonds wasn't a great player. Is he a jerk off? Sure. Doesn't mean he's not an all-time great. We're going to act like what McGuire and Sosa did wasn't awesome. We weren't glued to our TVs every night.
Yeah, we weren't
Come
watching
on.
it every night.
I mean, and then everybody can buy a clue. I mean, we knew what was going on, but guess what? It is what it is. When everybody was doing it, it doesn't mean it's right. It just means that doesn't take away or diminish that these guys weren't special players. Yeah. In tremendous zones at the time. Shit, I can go do 10 cycles right now. Doesn't mean I'm going to hit 60 plus. So, does that help? Does it help you not getting hurt that year? Does it help you your body recover? Yeah, it helps you with the dog days of summer, but it also helps the pitchers too. So, I just don't want to act like this 5 guys were doing it and nobody else was. Yeah. It was a fucking issue. But listen, great show, boys. We'd like to thank our doc for bringing the show to you every Sunday. He was on with us. You can go back and watch the entire show on all our A2D platforms. And we're brought to you by our doc. Make them yours. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. For Brian Wilson, who was with us. For our doc, Paul Vidal, who was with us. Nick Delgazzo down below. Greg Milakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, if you haven't, hit the like and subscribe wherever you're following us at. And you can follow and go back and listen to our shows on all, like I said, all our A2D platforms or everywhere you get your podcasts. So make sure you stay with us. The Eagles are 4-0, baby. Next week, we're going for the big 5-0. Arizona, here we come. Can we continue to play great football? Resiliency, that's the term. That's the word of the week. We're out of here.